folks.
Hi, everyone.
Great to see you, and good to share some reports on Rotary service tonight outside the walls of where our club meets. So without any delay, we'll try and share the screen here and get right to it. Can everybody see our first screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So welcome to a journey of Rotary service, report on our Mexico mission trip that we just did in February. It had two prongs to it. One was the first few days were polio eradication activities, and then we followed up with a dental medical mission that Grace was more involved with me. So first off, we flew to Tucson, Arizona, which is often the port of entry for us to head into Mexico by driving. And we're often greeted and hosted there for a day or two by our friends in Tucson. In this particular case, we had a Rotary friend who just renovated a home for a new Airbnb. So she offered her home to us for a few days, and it was so nice to walk into the home and see that bouquet of flowers on the right-hand side there and a little welcome note. So if you have any desires to go to southern Arizona, this home is a beautiful little location, convenient spot in Tucson, and we can hook you up there. Of course, you don't go on Rotary trips without visiting Rotary clubs, and so we spent some time with the Tucson Rotarians there. A good-sized club. One interesting thing is you can see on the left, they have a membership information table set up at each meeting, which I thought was a unique idea and a good way to share Rotary membership information on top of keeping it top of mind for all their members who walk in each week. We didn't do all work. We had some R&R time, and this is at the Televerde Ranch on the northeastern corner of Tucson. We've been in this area of the desert before with the mountain ranges. Just a beautiful area to go horseback riding, and we had a cookout breakfast as well out in the desert off a chuck wagon. It was just a great experience to share some personal time together. Usually we have lots of friends to visit, and we don't have time to see each person individually, so it's become customary that we often have a group friendship dinner in the Tucson area, or often wherever we go. So all of our Rotary friends, or at least those who are able to come, get together usually one evening for a group dinner, and it's a chance to share Rotary stories and fun and fellowship for some of these people who I've known for 25 years. So it's great to see these friends every time we get a chance to pass through their area. And this is an opportunity for any of you to take advantage of. Grace and I don't do anything special. We're just average Rotarians like everybody. And you know, it's the fun and the fellowship that holds Rotary together. I think it's the glue of Rotary. And you can avail of these opportunities as well if you choose to or wish to. From Tucson, we drove about a little over an hour to the Mexican border. And then our friend there saying, "Hola, mi amigo," is a good friend of mine from Nogales, Mexico. He came to the border, and he organized us to be picked up with our luggage, and he chauffeured us across the border. He happens to be a customs broker, so he knows all of the border officers, so never a problem when he's with you. And in fact, we drove through and waved. We didn't even get asked one question. So he and his fellow Rotarians in Nogales, Mexico are great friends that we've worked with on other projects through the years. And they treated us to lunch. And then the fellow there, second from the right, Ruben, he was kind enough that he drove us, our Canadian group, from Nogales to Caborca, where our first stop of Rotary activity was for the polio. And so this is our arrival in Caborca, Mexico. These are the Canadians that came with us as the group. And I put down there that you can be part of this group as well. Everybody's welcome. Sometimes people ask us, how do you get to go on these trips? And you just have to express an interest and call your travel agent and arrange a flight to Tucson. Essentially, Rotary takes care of most of the other details after that. And I want to make sure that one more time I invite any of our Rotary members or colleagues to show an interest and come along with us, and you'll see a whole new world of Rotary helping others outside of our local community. Of course, they had a welcome party there, and there's no fiesta in Mexico without the music. And we always enjoy the music and the singing and the dancing. Of course, if you're with Grace, you know that there's going to be a party if there's music and singing around. And on the right is the governor who's promoting his district conference with me on the picture on the right. And he drove 7 hours in order to be there to join us for the weekend that we were in Caborca. And he worked right alongside of us to help do our polio mission work and also some painting that you'll see. Again, a group of Rotarians in fellowship and enjoying each other. I've known a few of these Rotarians for a while now. These are the women, the spouses of the Rotarians, and it's always great to see them. They're excited to see us come. They always show up to welcome us, and they're very, very integral part of Rotary service activities in Mexico. And they're almost kind of like honorary Rotarians, and it's great to see them each year, and they're very happy to help host us there and make us feel welcome. The next morning, we go off to the Department of Health, and the Director of Health here was very excited to show Grace his new van, which was donated by Rotary, and it's a medical dental van that they take out into the poor communities to offer service to the people who otherwise would not have good medical care. So it's always great to see these sorts of things, and something that he was very proud of. Then we went inside, and here's some of the group. There were other Rotarians there from Arizona and California to join us, and we had to have a training session on how to do the polio drops properly. And on the left, you'll see 3 of the nurses are demonstrating how to do it. One of the important things that we have to be careful of is not to touch the child's lips with the vial and the vaccine drops, because we don't want to risk cross-contamination from one child to the next. So they're demonstrating to us to keep the vial away from the mouth and just let them drop in, and don't let them touch the lips to risk contamination. Now we're off down the road. The roads in this area, if you're going between major cities, are fairly good. On the left-hand side, you'll see a decent paved road. And after about an hour going out into a remote area, we turn into this village, which is just a very primitive, rudimentary village with dirt streets. And this is where we'll spend the rest of our day going amongst the villagers. Here's our group from Canada, and a couple of Mexican hosts there as well. And we're just standing at the entrance to the village. We're going to be split up into the groups, but we're just waiting for the health department van to arrive with the vaccine and the nurses who will escort us through the community because they know the homes to go to. And in that way, the nurses go to the homes, and the people recognize who's coming, and they're not afraid of us being there as strangers. So we're just getting organized now. Our nurse was the lady in the middle there with her clipboard, and so she's just making sure we're all organized and ready to go. And then off we go, walking through the village to the appropriate homes under the leadership and guidance of the nurse who escorts each group. The groups were broken into groups of 3, and on the right is our group of 3 for the day. And along with the nurse, we went house to house to vaccinate the children. And really, my friends, it's just 2 drops of that very valuable polio vaccination vaccine that can save the life and health of a child from being crippled. And so it's really just a very small thing, but it's a very big thing to that child and their parents. And of course, it's a great deal of personal satisfaction to be able to be involved and help deliver those drops of polio. And so as we go community to community, You might be invited into the home. You might just do it in the backyard. And in all cases, the families are there to welcome you, and they're so happy because when they see the Rotary team coming, they know something good is going to happen in their community. So it's just great to be welcomed by those people. Here's where we go for lunch. This is on the Sea of Cortez, a small fishing village. I wish I could have time to show you more photos, but in the interest of time, I had to cut some of the other photos out. But this is an area where we had a fish barbecue hosted by the Rotary Club there. And we had some time just to relax and have some more fun and fellowship, which of course is a very, very integral part of the process to meet with other Rotary friends and have that glue that holds Rotary together. And of course, we get a chance to have a little bit of a rest. Driving back to the village again, and this is some of the countryside along the way. It's mostly desert with some cactus, sagebrush, and usually there's some mountain ranges in the back. And in this area, there's a whole wealth of solar farms creating power using the hot sun there in this Mexican desert area. And it was just amazing to see the miles and miles of solar panels that you see as you're driving by. Back to work here on the left, Grace is giving the child a little toy. Often we take small gifts and token of friendship that we pass out to the children or the families as we go. And they are really quite excited to get some little token to remember us by. And again, on the left, you'll see a young man with a red polio shirt, and he's the son of a Mexican Rotarian from Caborca. We've gotten to know him over the years as he's grown up. He comes to help carry the little cooler jug because the vaccine has to be kept from getting too hot. And so we take that in a cooler jug, and he also acts as a translator if we need it. Even though Grace does speak a bit of Spanish, he's there to communicate with the families and explain to them what we're doing if necessary. And of course, Grace giving some more drops of that vaccine on the right-hand side. And this was quite an interesting time. We were in this home. This little child wasn't sure that they wanted the vaccine, so the nurse had to hold his mouth open while Grace put in the vaccine. So that was kind of our day doing the polio vaccinations. And on our last home stop, the people had a very bountiful citrus tree in their backyard, which you can see in the top right corner of the photo. And the people were so happy to have us there and so welcoming. And they said, pick anything you want. It's our gift to you for coming. We appreciate your coming. And we're so happy that you would want to take any of our citrus fruit and take everything you want. So that was quite a very small but primitive, joyful gift for us to receive from those people with their appreciation. Again, in the polio shirt, a friend, Luis, who's a Caborca Rotarian, and that's the father of the young lad I just showed you a minute ago. So then that evening, it's another fiesta with some programs, and this is the president of the club, and Dr. Martin, who helps coordinate the medical side of things. We had some review of projects. Ruben is the friend of ours on the right who was driving us in the van, and it's a Rotarian who owns a hotel who loans us his, or allows us at least to use his shuttle van from his hotel. And then Ruben is a Rotarian who drives us around, and we really appreciate the time he takes off his work to do that. And then on the left is one of our team members, Paul, exchanging a banner with the local president of the Caborca Club. So lots of fun, and of course, more music and dancing following that. The following day, we're on to our next project, and this was an add-on. The Canadians always stay a day longer. The California and the Arizona Rotarians returned home this morning, but we stayed for another day of fun and fellowship and Rotary project, which was painting the streets in downtown city of Caborca. And so you can see us getting going there on the right. Grace is sweeping the pavement after the marking has been done before it's painted. On the left, we're painting a big white panel, and you'll see the reason for that in a minute. And then the mayor came and a couple of councilors, and of course, when the politicians come, there's always a photo op. So this is the template for the Rotary logo we're going to paint onto the street, and many of the Rotarians who paused for a few minutes to take a photo with the mayor. And of course, she was quite excited that we were there. And so here we are painting some of the yellow stripes on the street. There's Madam Grace painting some more with Ruben and some of our other Canadian friends. And then here we are painting the Rotary logo onto the big white panel. And actually, just think of what cities in Canada would allow us to paint the Rotary logo right at the main intersection of the main city. Truly amazing respect that the municipal officials in the city has for Rotary in that community, that they would allow us to do this. And so we're using the template there to paint in the Rotary logo. And then here's job complete. Everybody's celebrating, having a great time doing that painting job. So that evening, it's kind of a wind up. We had a little bit of a meeting to discuss how things went, a debrief. And then we had a meal all together, more fun and fellowship with our Rotary Caborca friends and our Canadian group. Of course, more music and some fun and fellowship. And Dr. Martin and his wife are both doctors, and they are playing a large role in what we're doing in Caborca. And nice little sign at the hotel to thank us for our work in Caborca as we get ready to load up the van and head off to our next location. Now we're on the road again, headed back to Nogales. So we've completed our polio mission, and our Canadians will be headed back home to Canada. But Grace and I will remain in Mexico for another few days, and they will drop us off in Nogales, Mexico. And so here's our friends waiting for us as we arrive in Nogales, Mexico.
So this is our medical and dental mission, and this is the road to where we're supposed to go in a colonia. So we're glad that our driver, who is actually a Rotarian, has a 4x4 four-wheel drive, so we could get onto this road. So this is the colonia, and we're glad that they put up a tent for us to do our medical and dental mission there, because it was quite hot that day. So this is actually a multi-medical and dental mission. So they have, they set up different tables, and this one is for the breast cancer support. And anybody who has a problem with breast cancer, they can come and talk to them. And then they also have free Zumba class that anyone that that lives in that colonia can join the Zumba class. And this is the dental van that I'm using, and it is actually from the city. And I'm so glad, because it was getting really hot, and that van has an air condition. So the patients will be triaged by the nurses from before they see me, so that they could, just to make sure that they are very safe for me to treat them. And I have 3 nurses with me inside the van. In fact, one of the police officers also sat there for his treatment. And I'm so glad that the van has all the amenities and the equipment that I need to use. And it was very nice for the city to bring all those provisions, like the medications and everything that I need for dental mission. So it was very nice. And after my work, of course, the Rotarians presented us some gifts. And in fact, the health director was there to make sure that we're happy with the dental mission. And I just learned actually that, and he was so glad and thanked me for coming there, because the dentist who's assigned to the van is off that day to attend to a funeral. And so if I didn't come, then they wouldn't have any dental mission. They don't have the dental part of the mission for that day. And so, Doug, do you want to say about this?
Oh, well, the police were also there, and so I had the opportunity to have a meeting with Chief Lopez. By the way, they did not come to arrest me. I was on my best behavior, so the man with the gun is not there for me. He was just security, but it was really interesting to share stories about how we work in Canada and my involvement with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and his involvement with being chief in Nogales, and to talk about the concerns and the problems of public safety. And a couple days after this picture was taken, he was actually promoted to the Commissioner of Public Safety. So he has since become a higher level law enforcement officer since this photo was taken. So at the end of our mission work, we had the opportunity to have a Rotary meeting. The Rotary Club of Nogales Industrial includes a lot of friends of mine, former Rotarians. I've known many of these people for almost 25 years, and over the last 2 or 3 years, I kept in touch with all of them, and over the last 2 or 3 years, they actually decided to charter a new club, and so I was so pleased to play a part of that, and so pleased that they changed their meeting night so that we would be able to attend their meeting. And they're just a great bunch of energetic Rotarians who are really, really committed to their community, and they do many great things. One of their projects on the left is rebuilding school desks for the school, and one of the Rotarians donates a part of his warehouse for them to do that. And then on the right is a kitchen stove, and it's in the warehouse because it won't fit through the door of the facility that they had done the project for. So they're now trying to figure out whether they got to get a smaller stove or widen the door. But I think it was quite appropriate that this kitchen stove came from a Rotary Club in Kitchener. So I took this to show them that their stove is there in good order, but it's too big to go through the door. But they're going to get that sorted out. So they're just a great bunch of Rotarians, very committed. And so this is kind of our last night in Mexico. And we've shared some meals together, some laughs together, and some good times over the years. And so it's kind of so long to our Mexican friends. For this trip, at least, the job is done. And we will say goodbye and head back north. So the next day, we're driving back north from the border to Tucson. And another thing that we take for granted in Rotary, and we don't talk about enough when we talk about Rotary membership, are the friends that we make through the years. This couple actually we worked with in Mexico, Bill Darjamay and his wife Anna. He was from California originally, married Anna in Hermosillo, Mexico. I visited them. Our club actually has done projects with them there in the past. And then within the last few years, Bill's father and he got a house just on the northern side of the border in Arizona. And then Anna moved up to be with them there. So we stopped and spent a night with them, visiting, catching up on things. But this is the power of Rotary, the power of Rotary membership, that you make friends all around the world and enjoy the camaraderie and the fellowship, and obviously staying with people in their homes is an extra added bonus. And this was our last night in a place called Green Valley, which is about 30 minutes south of the Tucson airport. Again, we were home hosted by some of these Rotarians. Another Rotary friendship dinner, and all of these friends, including a past RI director, Phil Silvers, and Diane Goodyear, who's an incoming governor, were there to greet us. And it's just amazing to get together and be able to visit with all these friends at one time and enjoy the fellowship of Rotary, and just in a magnificent golf course setting. His home, Gary's Friedman's home, is on a golf course resort area, and just a delightful time to again spend overnight with friends. So that's kind of a quick rundown. Of course, we've got way more slides and way more pictures, but in the interest of time, we had to cut these back. And we'll now, if anybody has any questions, we're quite happy to answer any. I'm not sure how our timing is, but President Steve will follow us on that.